Welcome to the Crochet Hangout. I'm Kendra, and today we'll be making the Wrapped in Love Kids Booties. These booties are great for kids' shoe sizes 1 through 4, and this ribbed ankle helps to keep tiny feet contained. The acrylic yarn is also quick to work with and makes a warm, soft, and washable bootie for the littles in your life that you love. The upper portion of the bootie is formed out of a heart-shaped piece, which is then seamed at the back and attached to a sole. That way their feet are literally wrapped in love. The required skills for this pattern include chain, half double crochet 2 together, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and slip stitch. To get your own printable copy of the PDF pattern, please head over to crochethangout.com where you'll find patterns, tutorials, and more. The Wrapped in Love Kid Booties pattern calls for 2 skeins of Deborah Norville Collection Serenity Chunky yarn. The pair pictured in the pattern uses 2 skeins of the color Berry Burst. Today's sample will be using 2 skeins in the color Pink Candy. The Deborah Norville Collection Serenity Chunky yarn is a size 5 bulky weight yarn in 100% acrylic, meaning it's extremely durable, washable, and quick to work up. You'll also require a crochet hook. In the size K, 6.5 millimeters, this is an ergonomic handled hook, but a plain metal hook will work just as well. In addition, you will need a tapestry needle for weaving in your ends. Our booties are going to be completed in 3 parts. First, we're going to make the heart-shaped upper, which is created starting at the toe, working our way up, working the right side of the heart, fastening off our yarn, picking up our yarn, working the left side of the heart, and then we're going to fasten the edges of our heart together to wrap that foot in love. Then we're going to make a sole, connect the sole to the upper part of the foot. Then we're going to reconnect our yarn around the ankle and form a ribbed ankle piece to hold those little feet in. Begin by starting our first ball of yarn. What you're going to want to do is find the outside tail. I just tuck that in so it's out of the way. Then I like to pull my yarn from the center when possible because it keeps the ball from getting away from you while you're working. So we're just going to set that aside. Here's the center bit. Sometimes you'll get a decent chunk, but especially with the bulky yarn, it works up so fast that this little bit will be out of the way before you know it. We're going to take our hook and we are going to begin our heart-shaped upper. You're going to make 2 of these heart-shaped uppers, 1 for each foot. You're going to begin with a simple slip knot formed by wrapping the yarn around our fingers, sliding the hook between, and drawing up a loop. Pulling our yarn tight so that we're connected to our hook, we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to work a half double crochet in the 3rd chain from our hook by yarning over, counting over 1, 2, 3 chains, and sticking our hook in, making sure that we get both the front and back loop of our chain. We're going to draw up a loop of yarn, so there will now be 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through everything on our hook to complete our first half double crochet. Then we're going to half double crochet 3 more across the chain. So yarn over, go into the chain, making sure we have that front and back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through everything on our hook. There's 1 half double crochet, there's 2 half double crochets, and there's 3 half double crochets. Now, the first chain 3 is going to count as our first half double crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches across as indicated in our pattern. Now we're going to chain 2, which counts as a half double crochet here and throughout the rest of our pattern. We're going to turn our work and half double crochet right into that same stitch, making sure we get both the front and back loop. Draw up a loop, yarn over through everything on our hook. And we are going to now half double crochet 3 more times. Yarn over, through both loops, draw up a loop, yarn over, through everything on our hook. 1, 2, 3 stitches. And then in our last stitch, we are going to put 2 half double crochets. And we're going to do this into the 3rd chain of the turning chain, which was our first stitch on the bottom. So 1, 2, the 3rd chain. We're just going to put 2 half double crochets right in to that chain, which was the first half double crochet of the row below. Moving on to row 3, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Again, we're going to half double crochet in the very same stitch. And now we're going to half double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we are going to half double crochet into our turning chain once more. And we are going to put 2 stitches in here, making sure that we get through all the plies of the yarn. For the most part, this chunky yarn does not split, but it will on occasion. So just be careful in your work. So we have our 2 stitches there. Now we're going to move on to row 4, which is once again going to begin with our chain 2, which counts as our first half double crochet, turn our work, and half double crochet in the same space. I got my yarn's a little tangled up, which is fine. We'll just readjust. Now we're going to half double crochet in the next 7 stitches across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And once more, we are going to put 2 half double crochets into our turning chain. 1, 2. To row 5, where we're going to begin by chaining 2 and turning our work. We're going to put a half double crochet in the same stitch, and we're going to half double crochet in the next 9 stitches. And as before, we're going to put 2 stitches into our turning chain. 1 and 2. For row 6, we're going to begin by chaining 2, turning our work, and half double crocheting into that same stitch. We're then going to half double crochet in the next 11 stitches. And we're going to end our row by putting 2 half double crochets into our turning chain. Moving on to row 7, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, half double crochet in that same chain, and the next 13. We're going to end our row with 2 half double crochets into our turning chain. Sometimes it can be a little hard to find your space. You do, just poke your hook around. Once you find it, it will slide in. There we go, right there. And put up our loop, yarn over into the turning chain for our second half double crochet, bring up a loop, yarn over through everything on your hook. To begin row 8, we're going to yarn over, chain 2, turn our work, and put a half double crochet in that same stitch. Then we're going to put a half double crochet in the next 15 stitches. Double crochets into this last stitch, into that turning chain right there. 1 and 2. Moving on to row 9, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and half double crochet in that same stitch. Then we're going to put a half double crochet in each of the next 17 stitches. And we're going to end our row with 2 half double crochets in our turning chain once again. 1 and 2. Moving on to row 10, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and half double crochet in that same stitch. And we're going to half double crochet in the next 19 stitches. we're just going to end with 2 stitches in our turning chain once again. 1, 2. Now for row 11, we're going to chain 2, turn, and half double crochet 21 across. That means that we are not going to put another stitch right here like we've been doing. Since our chain counts as our first stitch, we're going to skip this first stitch and put our first half double crochet right into the second spot. And we're going to work 21 across. We're just going to put 1 stitch into our turning chain. This will leave us with 23 stitches across. It might be a good idea, as you probably should have been doing all along, to count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And remember, your turning chain counts as a stitch, so 23 stitches. Now we're going to work rows 12 and 13 in the same manner as row 11. Chain 2, turn your work. Since your chain counts as a stitch, your next stitch is going to go in the second stitch right here. Work 21 half double crochets across and 1 stitch in your turning chain. Go ahead and complete rows 12 and 13. You can pause, and I will meet you at the end of row 13. Now that we've completed row 13, we're going to begin shaping the first side of our heart. So we're going to chain 2, turn, and half double crochet 8. So since our chain counts as our first stitch, we're going to go into the second stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. Next, we are going to half double crochet 2 stitches together, which means we're going to take these 2 stitches here and join them into 1 stitch. We're going to complete this by yarning over, going into our first stitch, and drawing up a loop. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're then going to stick our hook into the next stitch, draw up a loop. So there's 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through everything on our hook. As you can see, there's 2 stitches at the bottom, but only 1 at the top. And now we're just going to leave the rest of the stitches unworked for now. We will eventually come back and work this left side of our heart, but right now we're going to focus on the right side. For row 15, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Then we're going to half double crochet 8. Again, we're going to skip this first stitch because our chain counts as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 half double crochets, and we're going to put 1 into our turning chain. For row 16, we're going to chain 2, turn our work. This time we're going to half double crochet 7. again, we're going to half double crochet 2 together, yarn over, put our hook in and draw up a loop. Now remember, our turning chain counts as a chain, so we're then just going to stick our hook into the turning chain, draw up a loop, yarn over through all 4 loops on our hook to complete our half double crochet 2 together. For row 17, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and work back across with 7 half double crochets, and then half double crochet into our turning chain. For row 18, we're just going to begin by chaining 2, turning our work, working 6 half double crochets across. Then we're going to half double crochet 2 together, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and we're going to go into our turning chain and pull up a loop, yarn over, and through everything on our hook. Row 19 begins by chaining 2, turning our work, and working 6 half double crochets across. Then we're going to end with a half double crochet in the top of our turning chain. Begins by chaining 2, turning our work. We're going to work 5 half double crochets across. And then we're going to half double crochet the last 2 stitches together. That includes going into our turning chain and through everything on our hook. For row 21, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, half double crochet 5, and put a half double crochet in the top of our turning chain. Rows 22 and 23 are going to be worked in the same manner as row 21. Chain 2, turn our work, 5 half double crochets across, and a half double crochet in the top of our turning chain. At the end of row 23, you're going to fasten off by yarning over and pulling through the loop, pulling that tight, and clipping your yarn. I will meet you at the end of row 23 after the fasten off, so we can begin the left side with the left row 14. To begin the left side, you're going to basically start where we did row 14 of the right side, and we left these stitches unworked. So you're going to leave the right side on your right side, and we're going to work up our left side. So you can see the final stitch that we worked into was this one right here. We are going to leave 1 stitch unworked, and then slide our hook in. We're going to find the end of our yarn. We're going to yarn over on our hook, pull up a loop. I'm going to stick that tail in the back, yarn over and pull through and pull that tight. That's how we're slip stitching to join our yarn. Now our yarn is attached to the bootie. Now we're going to chain 1. And we're going to half double crochet 2 together. Yarn over, pull up a loop in this stitch, put our hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through all 4 loops on the hook. Then we're going to half double crochet in the next 8 stitches. And finally, we're going to put a stitch into our turning chain. Moving on to left row 15, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Half double crochet 8. We're just going to put our final half double crochet in the top of that half double crochet 2 together that we made. This is going to give us a total of 10 stitches. I recommend at this point that you be sure to count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, that first chain 2 counts as stitch number 10. So we're right on track with our pattern. Row 16 begins with a half double crochet 2 together. So rather than chaining 2, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then half double crochet 2 together. Then you're going to work 7 half double crochets across your row and put a final half double crochet in the top of your turning chain. Begins by chaining 2, turn your work, and we're going to work 7 half double crochets across, ending with a half double crochet into the top of our half double crochet 2 together. Begins with the chain 1, turn, and we're going to immediately half double crochet 2 together. Then work 6 half double crochets across our row and end with a half double crochet in the top of our turning chain. Begins with the chain 2, turn our work, and we're going to half double crochet in the next 6 spaces, and we're going to end with a half double crochet in the top of our half double crochet 2 together. This gives us a total of 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that we know we're on the right track, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and half double crochet 2 together. Then we're going to work 5 half double crochets across. Half double crochet in the top of our turning chain. Finally, row 21 begins by chaining 2, turning our work, and working 5 half double crochets across. And we're going to put our final half double crochet into the top of our half double crochet 2 together for a total of 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rows 22 and 23 are going to be worked in the same manner. Chain 2, turn your work your 6 half double crochets, chain 2, work your 6 half double crochets. Then I'll meet you at the end of row 23 after we'll continue on from there. So here we are at the end of row 23 on our left side, and we have not fastened off our yarn. That is because we're going to use this yarn to connect our heart shape. You can see here the heart shape that we are going to wrap those little feet in. So we are going to take, this side is going to be the left side when you're wearing it. So I'm just going to turn it around so it looks like a foot. It is going to be on the left side of your body, meaning this left side is the right side up. So we're just going to bring the right side of the right side over. Now that we have everything folded in half, we're just going to move any of the extra tails out of the way. We will deal with the weaving in here shortly. We're going to put our hook into the loop and just make sure that we have good tension. Now we're going to join the back of the bootie. What you're going to do is chain 1, and then we're going to go through the back loop of our left side of the heart, which is where the yarn is currently connected. And we're going to go through the back loop of the final row of stitches on the right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to see your 7th stitch is going to be that turning chain. So you're going to just pick up the turning chain. We've gone through both. You're just going to single crochet. Now you've got your hook through the back loop of the left side, the turning chain of the right. We're just going to yarn over and pull up a loop and make a single crochet. Then you're going to go into the back loop of the next stitch on the left side and the back loop of the next stitch on the right side, pull up a loop and single crochet. You're going to continue in this manner till you have 7 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, and your final stitch is going to be in the turning chain of the left side of the heart and the back loop of the right side. Just draw up a loop, yarn over, and finish your single crochet. This is going to have connected the tops of your heart. We're going to fasten off, but before I do that, I just want to turn my bootie so I can see what it'll look like when it's on a foot and make sure that I like the way that I've connected it. Make sure that it's strong. Make sure that it's even. There's no weird gaps. Just, check it out, because what you see here is what you're going to get in your finished bootie. Once you're happy, just go ahead and flip it back so the right sides are together. And we're going to fasten off by just pulling the yarn through the loop on our hook and tightening. Then we're going to trim our yarn. And at this point, you can go ahead and weave in any ends that you have on this upper. You're going to repeat these steps to make a second upper, also weaving in all of those ends. And I'll meet you in just a minute to make the sole of our booties. After our upper is complete, we're going to make the sole of our bootie, beginning with a slip knot, wrapping around our finger, sliding the hook between, pulling up a loop, and pulling that tight. We're going to begin by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to half double crochet in the 3rd chain from our hook. 1, 2, 3 chains, making sure that we get both that front and back loop. Pull up a loop, yarn over through everything on your hook. Then we're going to half double crochet 3 and the rest of the chains across. 1, 2, finally 3. We're going to start row 2 of the sole with the chain 2, and then we're going to turn our work. We're going to half double crochet in that same stitch, and the next 3. Then we're going to put 2 half double crochets in the 3rd chain of our turning chain. Row 3 begins with the chain 2 as well. Then we're going to turn half double crochet in the same stitch, half double crochet in the next 5 stitches, and end with 2 half double crochets in the top of our turning chain. Begins with a chain 2, turning our work, half double crochet in that same chain, and in the next 7 across, ending with 2 half double crochets in the top of our turning chain. Row 5 begins with the chain 2, and then we're just going to turn our work, work a half double crochet into that same stitch, then we're going to half double crochet in each of the next 9 stitches across, ending with 2 half double crochets in the top of your turning chain. Is going to begin by chaining 2, turning your work. And in this row, we are going to half double crochet in the next 11 stitches. Since our chain 2 counts as a stitch, we're going to put our first stitch into the 2nd stitch of the row below, and half double crochet in the next 11 stitches, ending with a single stitch of half double crochet in the top of our turning chain. Rows 7 through 17 are simply going to be a repeat of row 6. You're going to chain 2, turn your work, put your first stitch of your 11 half double crochets across into the 2nd stitch right here. Work your way across and put a half double crochet in the turning chain for 13 stitches per row. So go ahead and finish rows 7 through 17, and I'll meet you to show you what we're going to do in row 18. As you can see, we finished row 17 and we have most of the bottom of our sole done. Row 18 begins kind of our decrease for the heel. Row 18 begins with a chain 2. Then we're going to turn our work and half double crochet 2 together. Now that is not going to include this first stitch here. We're going to go into the next one, yarn over, into that next stitch, pull over a loop, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through all 4 loops on our hook. We're going to half double crochet 7. And then we're going to half double crochet 2 together. And finally, put a double crochet in the top of our turning chain from the row below. Row 19 is going to also begin with a chain 2. We're going to turn and half double crochet, not in this first one, but in this next stitch. Double crochet 2 together. Then we're going to half double crochet in the next 5 stitches. Half double crochet 2 together, going through all 4 loops on your hook, and finally another half double crochet in the top of the turning chain. This is the end of our sole, so you're going to go ahead and fasten off by yarning over, pulling a loop through your stitch, and pulling that tight. Now we're just going to go ahead and clip. And as you can see, we have a little foot just waiting for its upper to be attached. At this point, we're going to go ahead and weave in all of our ends and make sure that the ends are all woven in on your upper as well. Once you have all of the ends woven in on both parts and you've made all 4 of your pieces, you're going to go ahead and attach them. So go ahead and weave in your ends, and if you'd like, you can go ahead and make your second set, and then I'll walk you through the process of building your bootie. Now that you have all of your ends woven in, this is going to make everything a lot easier when it comes to joining your bootie together. Obviously, you can tell the outside of your slipper because, well, the inside is where you slip stitched. And as far as the sole, it doesn't really matter which side is your right side. I would just suggest that you keep your right sides the same direction on both slippers if you care. Otherwise, just make sure that you have the toe at the front and the heel, which is wider, at the back. What we're going to do is, with the right sides together, so you're going to flip your sole on to your top, you are going to align your toe. And since they both started with that chain 6, you're going to have the same 5 stitches across both. And we're going to grab our yarn, and we're just going to pick a spot on the toe that makes us happy, go through the loop of that chain and the loop of the chain on the other piece. And we're going to draw up a loop of our yarn. We're going to put the tail behind, yarn over, pull through and make that tight. Now we've slip stitched to join our yarn to our 2 bootie pieces. At this point, you're going to chain 1 and just slip stitch around the entirety of the bootie, being careful to align your stitches. As you can see, a ridge is created every 2 stitches of the half double crochet on both the sole and the upper. So you can just keep those in line, slip stitch across your toe and then down your sides, line up your back corners, slip stitch across there and back around. When you get to the end, you're just going to go ahead and slip stitch into that first chain 1 that you made, and everything will be connected. I'll meet you at that point. So as you can see, I've gone all the way around and I just finished slip stitching. Before we go ahead and fasten this off, I am going to turn the bootie right side out for the same reasons as when we did the back of the upper. Since what you see is what you get when you're done, you want to make sure you don't have any weird holes or anything that just doesn't make you happy. Looks like everything is pretty well attached. Now, when you get the toe done, you're kind of going to be able to point it out. It's going to make a bit of a pointed, kind of a pixie toe, which enhances that heart-shaped look, because you can see the ankle actually kind of creates a heart before we put the ribbing on. And I'm happy with how everything is lining up. So I'm just going to turn everything inside out once more and fasten off by putting my hook into the loop, yarning over, pull through, and trimming the yarn. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and weave in these two ends and make sure that everything else is woven in as well. Then we're going to turn it so that it's right side out. Get everything aligned. And we're going to begin the ankle ribbing at this point. To complete the ankle ribbing, we are just going to find our back seam and insert our hook in that area. I like to put it on the right side of the seam, so we're going to work around there. We're going to grab our yarn, yarn over, pull up a loop, flip the tail to the back, yarn over, pull through, give that tail a pull, and again we've slip stitched to join our yarn. Now that your yarn is attached to your bootie at the ankle, you're going to go ahead and chain 2. This counts as our first half double crochet. You're going to work 26 half double crochets evenly around this ankle opening. When you get back to the beginning, you're going to slip stitch into this first chain 2, and then we'll move on to round number 2. I'll meet you at that point. Now that we've completed round 1, we're going to move on to round 2. We're going to begin by chaining 2. Then we're going to do a front post half double crochet. This is going to be completed by yarning over, sticking our hook under the next stitch. Then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over through all 3 loops on our hook. Next, we're going to back post half double crochet, yarning over, then basically in reverse, we're going to go from the back forward so that we have the next stitch trapped on top of our hook, but in the back. We're going to pull up a loop, yarn over through all 3 loops on our hook. Then we're going to front post half double crochet, yarn over, sliding under the stitch so it's on the top, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through all 3 loops on our hook. Then we're going to back post half double crochet, yarn over, sliding around that next stitch so we have it trapped on the back. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over through all 3 loops on our hook. You're going to continue in this manner all the way around, slip stitching to join at the beginning. So you're going to have 26 half double crochets, and they're alternating front post, back post. I'll meet you at the end of your round. So here you see our first round of ribbing is complete. Now for round 3, we're just going to repeat the same process as round 2. So we are going to chain 2, yarn over, and we're just going to front post half double crochet around. And if you front posted last time, you're going to front post this time. If you back posted, you're going to back post this time. You're just going to follow that pattern until you reach the end. Then you're going to slip stitch in your final stitch and fasten off your yarn. Once you've fastened off, you're going to weave in all of the ends and your bootie is complete. If you've been working the pieces, 2 of each piece at a time, you will end up with your 2 completed booties. Otherwise, you'll need to go back and make a second set of parts to make your second bootie. And here we have our completed Wrapped in Love Kid Booties. To get your own copy of the printable PDF pattern, head on over to crochethangout.com, where you will find patterns, tutorials, and more. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you next time. Bye!